President of the United States of America, former President of the United States of America, fulfilling his commitment to the city of Chicago, fulfilling his commitment to the south side of the city of Chicago, fulfilling his commitment to black and brown and Asian people, peoples of color, as it relates to building the library that will bear his name and his wife's name. Hey, I trust this guy. I trusted him in 2008 as he sought to be the President of the United States of America. We trusted him in 2012 again when he was President of the United States of America, and not once did Barack Obama violate our trust. So we're going to trust him right now. We're going to believe that this presidential center is going to be built by black people proportionally to their presence in the city of Chicago, and we believe that we're going to have an unprecedented number of African Americans and brown Americans and Asian Americans, peoples of color, building that library. Now, switching over to Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump has once again, I think, stuck his head out here, and he's talking about gun control. And as we all mourn and grieve at once again, people who went to church on a Sunday morning found that they were shot down, killed, 26 in Texas. That's Sutherland, Texas. Why? Who knows? But a gunman went into that church and mowed people down while they were screaming and running, and even turned and shot a little baby, not hardly 6 months old. What would drive somebody to do that dastardly act? One can only imagine how deranged or he was and is. But the important thing is the president, rather than grieving, decided that he was going to defend our president, Mr. Trump. He was going to defend the rights for people to bear arms. He is a strong, I think, advocate for the National Rifle Association, which puts millions and billions of millions of dollars into candidates that run for public office. I'm sure that he received a large degree of support from the NRA, and his allegiance is there. And so he decided that he was going to stand firm and say that this was a problem of gun control as we know it was not effective. And he pointed out Chicago as a place where has the toughest gun laws in any city in the United States of America, and it's not working here. This is Leon Finney, and I'm going to take a short break, and when I come back, we'll pick up our conversation on the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
All right, Doc.
Hey, this is Leon Finney. We're back live here on urbanbroadcastmedia.com. My engineers just said, hey, get back in there, Doc. And so we're back, and we're talking right now about our President, Donald Trump. Now, there's another thing that he did say about the shooting of the 26 people in this First Baptist Church in Texas. He also said that had there been no guns on the streets, that the brave man who did, in fact, shoot and kill the assailant would not have had the arms or the wherewithal to shoot. And nobody questions, I think, the entirety of the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. The question is, do we vet people who buy guns carefully and thoughtfully? Do we screen every applicant who wants to buy a gun to make sure that he or she is sane, quite frankly, to make sure that they are trustworthy with deadly firearms? We have to do more. And so the question has been put forth by members of the United States Congress that we should vet more. We should examine more those people, and more carefully, those people who want to own a gun, and make sure that we're not putting guns in the hands of criminals, and we're not putting guns in the hands of deranged people? That's the question. And my sense is our president wants the position of the National Rifle Association to be the position for all of us. And that is guns, the sale of guns unfettered by anybody at any time. We think that there ought to be stronger gun control laws, and 9 out of 10 of the American people think the same thing. Now, my friends, we're going to have to, I think, get to the point where we're going to have to bop or get off the pot. We're going to move on. I've got maybe another minute or two to talk about things, and one of the things that I think that we have to lift up is the fact that Governor Rauner vetoed the right to work bill in the Illinois state legislature, vetoed it outright. And there was a major backlash against his veto, but that was to override his veto, but that effort in the House of Representatives failed by just 1 vote. And so the bill to permit unions to organize and people to organize and protect their interests and advance their interests through organized labor, that bill failed to be overridden. Now, that doesn't mean that there might not be a chance or an opportunity to override it again, but hey, for right now, the right to work bill is in fact dead. Now, this is Leon Finney, and you can run and tell that.
Loud and clear.